Hi, this is Dorothy with Mom's Indoor Gardens. Today I'm going to talk about planting tomatoes indoors. I live in New England, New Hampshire specifically, and everybody has tomato plants around here, but not everybody thinks of them as indoor plants. I love to grow tomatoes indoors. Really simple, pretty much the same as what you do outside. Let me show you how I do it. Okay, first, tomatoes grow really well in a 5-gallon bucket. As you can see, my tomato plant here, just pretty much starting out, but it is in a 5-gallon bucket. Make sure a couple things about your 5-gallon buckets though, or whatever bucket you use. Make sure you put lots of drain holes in the bottom, and make sure there's always it's hard to see here, but there's always a recycling symbol on the bucket, and the recycling symbol will tell you whether or not it's food grade. So I always be extra careful and use a food grade bucket. But any 5-gallon bucket or 5-gallon container will work. Anything smaller than that, the root ball will probably outgrow the bucket pretty quickly. Now, as you can see, my leaves are moving around. That's because I have a fan on. I'll show you the fan here, past my peppers. Always leave a fan on in your indoor garden. It helps the plants get stronger. So the fan helps with pollination. It helps the plant stems grow a little stronger, just like we're mimicking outdoors. So I have my tomato plant here, and the cool thing about this tomato plant is if you look real close here, it actually already has a tomato growing on it. So I was pretty happy about that. The plant is pretty young, and so I also, one of the things you need are lights. So I have a grow light stick here that I just attached to the wall. And as the plant grows up, it's going to end up growing up, all up the wall. And let me back up here. And I'm going to have it grow over the top of my long window. And I should be able to get quite a lot of tomato plant out of that space there. So it won't take up much space on the ground. People often say, well, tomatoes grow too big for indoors. And that's not true. The 5-gallon bucket is all you need on the ground. And then just have them grow up the wall like any kind of vining plant. So here's another one of my tomato plants. Again, it's just a 5-gallon bucket. This one I actually have sitting on the bench because it's reasonably young. I have the light on, and it's going to end up growing up around my door frame. So it has plenty of room to spread out vertically. So that should be okay. A couple last things to mention when you grow tomatoes indoors, or really anything indoors. Make sure you're using the right kind of soil. Make sure you get either container soil or at least at minimum raised bed soil. Something that's light. The containers the soil tends to get dense in there, so you want to make sure your roots have plenty of room to breathe. So use a light soil, a well-drained soil. Also, I like to stick a worm. All my containers, all my vegetables, all have worms in them. It's the same as it would be outdoors, except I bring the worms in. It helps keep some aeration in the soil. So if you have any questions, comments, please add them below. I will try and get back to you right away. And please watch the other videos. I actually have one about how to pollinate tomato plants indoors. Really easy, but make sure you do it because it's important to get good fruit. Thanks for watching.